What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, well, it's been a little while since I showed you a deck list, and I found a deck list that I really quite like, so let's take a look at Bond of Friendship. Now, shout out to the lovely DTCGReview, one of my favourite people in the Digimon community. If you're not following them on Twitter, you should be. Not only are they a wonderful person who helps me out with a bunch of stuff whenever I ask, they're also a phenomenal player and deck builder, and I want to share the list that they shared over on Twitter because they're awesome. And it really is a Gabumon deck, because if we start off having a little bit of a look at the level 3, it is a Gabumon party. Obviously here, we've got a playset of the Gabumon from BT1. When you play it, you draw a card. That has always been one of the best blue level 3s. Draw power in the Digimon TCG is not what it is in other card games. So being able to play a card like this and draw a card when you're not evolving is huge. It's just a fantastic advantage. In a bunch of card games, playing it and drawing a card would not necessarily be particularly good, but in the context of the Digimon TCG, this becomes a top tier card. There's also a playset of the Gabumon that came around in EX1, which obviously we have yet to get. But this has got a nice inheritable skill, whereby when you are attacking once per turn, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can add a Tamer card or a Digimon card with Gabumon in its name from among them to your hand. And clearly in a very Gabumon-focused deck, this is going to be a huge advantage, so this is rather lovely indeed. But that is not enough Gabumon, ladies and gentlemen. There is one more Gabumon we need to take a little bit of a look at, and it is the one from BT6. When you play a Tamer with Matashita in its name, you gain a memory. Obviously, we're doing that here. And when you are attacking, once per turn, if this Digimon is Gabumon Bond of Friendship, you may unsuspend this Digimon. So it basically gives you 2 attacks with the same Digimon. Obviously, this is something we're going to get a little bit excited about. If you're playing a Bond of Friendship deck, and let's face it, we clearly are here, this is a rather lovely advantage indeed. So yeah, proper job Gabumon party here. Now there is one other level 3 we see here, and it's not a Gabumon, it is not even a blue Digimon, it is a level 3 white Digimon. We have got ourselves a playset of Pokemon. Because when you play it, you reveal 5 cards on the top of your deck, you add a card with Hybrid in its form or 10 warriors in its type, and a Tamer card from among them to your hand. And then on your turn, once per turn, when your Tamer Digivolves into a Digimon, you gain 2 memory. So basically, if you're playing a hybrid deck, this is an absolute no-brainer, because this is going to give you extra memory and all of that and let you search them out. It's really good if you're playing a hybrid deck. And at this stage, some of you are going to be thinking, well, hang on a second, Wossy. This doesn't seem to make a huge amount of sense, because you've told me it's a Bond of Friendship deck, and now you're telling me about hybrids. What's going on? And essentially what's going on is that we've actually got a ridiculous deck here, and I say that with nothing but love and admiration, which is basically 2 decks mashed together kind of weirdly. Because what we've got is a full line Gabumon Bond of Friendship, 16 cards, a significant portion of the deck, and then we've got a whole bunch of hybrid in there as well. It's basically cheating a bunch of big Digimon into play, and I am here for it. So at this stage, we need to pop over and have a little bit of a look at Gabumon Bond of Friendship. Again, we can't do the traditional level 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s like we usually would, because frankly, that's not how this deck really rolls, and is one of the reasons I wanted to show it to you. So Gabumon Bond of Friendship is 14 cost, 14,000 power, 3 cost to Digivolve, and when you are attacking once per turn, if you have a Tamer, you may unsuspend this Digimon. Bearing in mind, we've also got the Gabumon that when you are Gabumon Bond of Friendship, you may unsuspend it. This means multiple attacks. This is a very good thing. And then when you are attacking, you can return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the bottom of their deck, trashing all the Digivolution cards. And sure, there are going to be times where you can't target the Digimon you want, etc. It doesn't get 6s and 7s, but there are going to be times when it works. And when it works, it's going to be absolutely brilliant, and for that reason, it's a card we maybe should be getting a little bit excited about, as we clearly are. But obviously at this stage, some of you are going to be thinking, well, hang on a second, Wossy, you've told us a bunch of level 3 Gabumon, then a level 7, what's going on? And what's going on is Mat Ashida. And there's a lot of cheating going on here, but it totally works. Because you see, the Mat Ashida, this is the one from BT6. On your turn, when one of your Digimon with Gabumon or Garurumon in its name moves from the breeding area to the battle area, you gain a memory and draw a card. That's most of your Digimon here. So that's extra memory and extra draw power, which is nuts. And once per turn, you may Digivolve one of your Gabumon into a Gabumon Bond of Friendship, and you've got to pay the cost, but you can ignore the level Digivolution requirement, as long as you trash the top 2 cards of your security. And then if you have 1 or more security, you delete this Digimon at the end of this turn. If you have 0 security, you get to keep it. But like I've said, you're going to be unsuspending and getting multiple attacks off, so as long as you time it right, you are essentially going to be cheating, getting a level 7 into play, and even if it is only for 1 turn, and even if you are giving up 2 security to do it, the fact is, if you can get enough benefit with your multiple attacks, it is totally going to be worth it. So that's the Bond of Friendship part of the deck, but there is another big part of the deck, and that is that we need to talk about all of the hybrids. The hybrids here are weird, but I'm totally into it. Now, the level 3s, there's no change. The level 3s are the level 3s. They're the ones we've already talked about. So moving over on into the level 4s, if you're familiar with these hybrids, you're going to know where we're going. So we've got the Promo Lobomon. Because when you are Digivolving, you can Digivolve into an AncientGarurumon for a memory cost of 1, and then delete this Digimon at the end of the turn. Once again, we are completely cheating here, because AncientGarurumon is not a level 5, so you shouldn't be able to Digivolve into it, and it should cost 5 when you can Digivolve it. Here you're paying 1 memory and you're skipping stages. And nobody cares, because you're totally allowed to do it. Now, on your turn, when Digivolving this Digimon into an AncientGarurumon, you reduce its Digivolution cost by 2, so you can go up the traditional way here and you will still get cheaper evolution, but essentially what we've got here is 2 different ways to cheat a Digimon into play. To cheat out a level 6 or a level 7, and get them out well faster than you should be able to, and that's kind of beautiful. And yes, just like the other one, it gets deleted at the end of your turn, but the whole point is you're bringing them in for big explosive turns, at which point, fine, you're going to lose them, but they've done enough damage that it does not matter. Now, we've also got Kendo Garurumon here. Being a hybrid, you can Digivolve it from a tamer as if it were a level 3 Digimon, which is obviously a very, very good thing, and we've seen there are tricks around that. And when you are attacking, you return an opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. Again, it's not always going to work, but when it does work, when you can get extra advantages from it, this is a very, very cool thing indeed. We've then got one of the Kendo Garurumon from BT7 that you can Digivolve this card from your hand onto one of your blue tamers, as if it were a level 3 blue Digimon. Interestingly enough, it costs 1 to Digivolve from a level 4, 2 from a tamer, or 3 from a level 3. So, what's that? And when Digivolving, if there's a card with hybrid in its traits or a Koji Minamoto in your Digivolution cards, you gain jamming for the turn. Jamming obviously being a very good thing, but we're not playing any Koji Minamoto here, and we're not playing any level 3 hybrid. Now, that's not the end of the world, because remember, I just told you that this can Digivolve as a level 4 from a level 4, but if you want to get jamming, you have to Digivolve this level 4 from another level 4, or else it is definitely not going to work. You have been warned. And then we got 1 copy of the Lobomon from BT4, which is just a generic hybrid Digimon. Doesn't do anything special, doesn't have any extra skills or anything like that. It is just, it's a hybrid Digimon. Go nuts, I suppose. And the thing is, we then end up, as we've seen, going up into, and there are no level 5s in this deck, we just go straight up into Ancient Garurumon. Essentially, the level 4s there are for various reasons. So you've got your Kendo Garurumon that can Digivolve from your previous level 4 and get jamming, not deleted by security Digimon, clearly a good thing. And we're playing a bunch of Tamers here, so just having some that can Digivolve from Tamers and be extra Digimon is a good thing. And then we got the Promo Lobomon, which can go up into Ancient Garurumon, and Ancient Garurumon is good, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, when you are attacking once per turn, you may suspend up to 2 of your Digimon with Garurumon in their names, or hybrid in their forms. So you are basically getting extra attacks. Remember, we've already said that we're getting extra attacks in this deck, and it's a good thing and something we're very, very happy about. And we also need to mention that on deletion, you can play a blue level 4 or lower Digimon with hybrid in its form from your hand without paying its memory cost. And a lot of the time, if you can, you're probably going to want that to be your Promo Lobomon, so that you can then just start doing the whole thing all over again. Clearly, ladies and gentlemen, that's a very cool thing. And it's weird to have these 2 different parts of the deck. It really is 2 different things going on at once. But because they can all start from your Gabumon here, it totally works. Now, Tamers-wise, I've already told you about Matashita. We don't need to really go into a huge amount of detail there. But we've also got another one that we see, honestly, quite a lot in these blue decks. We've got Davis Motomiya. Sees a whole bunch of play. Now, firstly, at the start of your turn, if your memory is 2 or less, it becomes free, which is nice. But when you play, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can add a blue and a green Digimon to your hand. Now, we ain't playing any green Digimon here, so you ain't getting a green Digimon. But what you absolutely can do here is get a blue Digimon. And the thing to remember is we're playing 10 Tamers here. So we are going to get these coming out of our security. That is going to happen. So playing them for free, getting extra memory as we go, searching out Digimon. This is clearly a very, very good thing that is going to help very, very much. It's a Tamer I'm a big fan of. No, we're not getting full use out of it because we're not getting a green Digimon. But it honestly doesn't really matter. It's going to be fine, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be fine. And then we've got ourselves a white Tamer here as well. We've got Analog Youth from EX1. When you play, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and you add a Digimon card to your hand. Clearly that's a good thing. And on all turns, when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with a Digivolution card is deleted, you can suspend it, gain a memory, and hatch a Digi-Egg card to an empty space in your breeding area. Bearing in mind, you have got a lot of self-deleting Digimon. Your level 6 and 7 delete at the end of the turn most of the time. Which means that this is a skill that is going to fire and is awesome. It really is going to help, quite frankly. There's a lot of memory gaining in this deck, and that's a very, very good thing indeed. Speaking of which, as we head over on into Tamers, it may not surprise you very much to find we've got a playset of Hammerspark. Hammerspark's just been good since the starter decks came out. It's a 0-cost card that gains you a memory, or if it comes out as a security, you gain 2 memory. But bearing in mind here, I've told you we've got 10 Tamers here. So then you add in these as well, that's 14 cards that give you a big advantage when they come out as security cards. That's clearly a really good thing. Obviously, they're not deleting your opponent's Digimon when they attack, and that does bring its own problems in. But just the fact that so many of these give you a huge advantage is awesome. And then we've got Ice Wall. It is a 1-cost card, but it says that all of your opponents gain when attacking lose 2 memory until the end of your opponent's next turn. So essentially this can be a way to shorten your opponent's turn, make them lose a bunch of memory, get the turn back over to you. And as a really cool side note, although it's not really a side note, it's a reason to play the card, it's got the same security skill as Hammerspark. So now we've got 8 cards in your security that gain you 2 memory when they come out, which may well end your opponent's turn before they've done all their attacks. And you got 10 Tamers as well. This isn't one of those, hey, maybe they'll come out here or there. You are going to get good cards coming out as your security, and that is a wonderful thing. Here's a list as a whole, and I love it. It's weird, and it's brilliant, and DTCGReview went undefeated with it at their local store last week. It's just a brilliant, brilliant deck. It's weird seeing two decks mashed together, and make no mistake, right? This is two decks mashed together, but they work so well, and it's such a well-made deck, I had to share it with you. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know how excited you are by it. I want to know, quite frankly, anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGReview, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.